morning, this is Dr. Winters, and I want to talk with you a few minutes about the hidden story. The hidden story. And so a lot of times when we are listening to someone's or a business's story, we can tell if it's really their story or if it's just a story that they're parroting because that market is hot, or because that's the big conversation now, or because there's a lot of enthusiasm about that temporarily, like with a multi-level marketing product. We can often tell if it is that person's story or somebody else's story. And I want to say that the hidden story is our story. It is my story. It's my story from starting to have health problems as a junior in high school with mononucleosis and having to take 9 months off of sports. It's my story of recovering and then going to college and playing college football and getting straight A's nearly, and then taking antibiotics for acne and my health going down to the point that I lost my position on the football team. I got my first D ever. I actually had to drop out of college temporarily, and physicians couldn't seem to help me, and I went to a chiropractor that practices more like I do now, and I started to recover. And then he took me to Palmer College of Chiropractic. You can see, it's hard to point to it here on the video, but you can see it behind me, the degree. And he took me to visit there, and I decided that that's what I wanted to do. And I'd already been thinking about that in the process, so I'd already been taking my science credits to qualify. And so as I started to get healthier, I decided that's what I was going to do, and I enrolled in Palmer College of Chiropractic. And then over time, I learned more and more about my own health, and I learned more and more about helping patients with chronic conditions. And so we went from, strictly adjusting practice to using more and more nutrition, because I came from that background. Remember, that's what helped me, was a doc that used nutrition. And so then we went to class after class after class of learning how to help patients with chronic problems. The only challenge was a lot of it was disorganized in terms of a real approach for a chronic patient. And one of the most powerful things that I took over the years was Kalish Institute of Functional Medicine, that program. And Dr. Kalish had a great model. And so essentially we looked at hormones first, particularly adrenal hormones. And then we would get into gut repair, which was a lot of immune system work because we were looking at hidden infections in the gut. And then we would look at a lot of detox pathways. We'd do organic acids testing and look at all that. But I realized that model was a bit short in terms of there was no neurological connection tied into that. It was just mostly a functional medicine approach. And I knew the value of what we might call functional neurology or functional healthcare in terms of the brain and nervous system and how important that was. So we put it all together and we came up with this approach called HIDN, HIDN, which stands for hormonal balance, immune strength, detoxification efficiency, and neurological connection. So when I'm talking about HIDN, I'm talking about my story in terms of my health, and my story in terms of developing this model so that there is a consistent model for people, that there is a model that makes sense, there's a model that all the pieces fit together and all 4 pieces interact with each other, and so we can bounce back and forth in those pieces to help a person get truly healthy. And so there's labs that relate to all those pieces, like for example in hormones, a lot of times now we'll do Dutch hormone testing if we need to. We still do a lot of stool testing, DNA-based stool testing. Occasionally we can do organic acids testing if we need to for detox pathways or other tests. And then the neurological connection, we have an amazing hands-on work called QNRT, Quantum Neural Reset Therapy, which releases emotional trauma out of the brain for trauma in specific brain lobes that's interfering with our nervous system. We have neurofeedback, which we can train the electrical activity patterns of the brain. We have our quantum neurology work, where we can in a hands-on way reboot nerve connections into the motor pathways to the muscles, the sensory pathways of sensation back to the brain and into the tissue and back, the nerve supply to organs, shared nerve supply to the organs. And then we're developing a lot of hands-on testing of reflex points for HIDN also, reflex points for the hormonal system, for the detox pathways, and for the digestive system and the immune. We have reflex points for the immune system that give us great ideas on if a person is dealing with a bacterial infection, a viral infection, yeast infection, or detoxification issues, and those points are super useful. So anyway, we're putting that all together into our model called HIDN. We've got a trademark on that, and it helps us communicate things to patients better and helps us solve chronic problems for patients. So when we talk about the HIDN story, it is my story. It's a real story. It's a genuine story. And it's a story that was developed out of struggle of my own health and struggle in learning to help patients get healthier as well. So I'm not telling somebody else's story. I'm not telling something that's a hot marketing thing. I'm talking a story that's a real life story to help real life patients get better, healthy, and stay healthy. And that's what it's all about. I'm Dr. Michael Winters, Winters Wellness Chiropractic Redefined. Learn more on our YouTube channel, Winters Wellness Center, Chiropractic Redefined on YouTube, and our Winters Wellness Center page, and our Sick and Tired group. And if you have an autoimmune condition, our group, Drugless Support for Autoimmunity, on Facebook. So look forward to seeing you in one of those places and helping you learn more about how to help with a chronic condition. And if we can give you some help, email me at drwinters@winterswellness.com, or give us our office a call at 270-554-2141, or just message us through winterswellnesscenter.com. Thanks.